Hey, let's hustle up right now. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is a former 500 champion, and he's a hell of a dude with Andretti Global. Let's welcome on board Will Power again to the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Will, thank you for taking the time on this afternoon. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Just relaxing, getting ready for the race, all the stuff.
How much downtime do you actually have? And I guess I would kind of consider this downtime yapping with me, but how much downtime do you have when you're waiting for Carb Day and then obviously what takes place this weekend?
Actually, I had a full day off yesterday. It was the first day off since I got here. I had some appearances today, and I have a couple tomorrow, and then obviously you have Carb Day. Then, it's pretty busy from Carb Day on because you have the parade on Saturday and a few sponsor appearances and so on. So it's all good stuff, though. It's all part of the job.
You ever find yourself kind of breaking away and thinking about your ride and the team and trying to find the speed? Because so much can happen between what we've witnessed in practice and qualifying, right? And then how you end up performing on race day. Because you've been down this path before, how much do you actually find yourself thinking about what might be coming up on Sunday? Does that dominate your thoughts at all, or do you break away from it?
It does. You definitely are in contact with your engineer and the team and discussing ideas and discussing the weather and, how much downforce you want to run, which is grip. You add downforce on, it just adds grip depending on how hot it is and so on. So it's an ongoing thing. The guys are obviously always working on the car. The cars are split apart right now. So a lot of work being done. It's crazy how much is involved in running a race car. It would just blow your mind, like how much it requires of people power and budget and so on.
Well, and you think about that, and then you also just think about in general, because you're a former champion here, and nobody would know this more than you would as a veteran driver, just how you could have the perfect car, but the dynamic of the weather and that track can break you away, can take you away from that. So really, you're almost at the mercy of that place come Sunday, regardless of how you feel about your car.
That is true. You do have adjustments within the car, and the team can change the front wing angle, which adds, load or takes load off the front axle. But yes, a very temperamental place for wind, weather, temperature, track temperature. Obviously, strategy plays a part in it. So it's a difficult race to win. Simply, you walk that tightrope, right? Like it's always, the car's always on edge, and you're at tremendous speed. So if you can get yourself in that position at the end of the race to fight it out, that's it's a big deal, and that's where I hope to be on Sunday.
It's Andretti Global's Will Power on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And then you guys are searching for speed right now. What are you guys thinking about what's been missing that can be added either on Carb Day Friday to feel better about it, or certainly on race day Sunday itself?
I would say that our race pace is our strength. Qualifying, certainly not. Obviously, a lot of homework to do in the off-season and development. We did a lot of work leading up to it. It's very short. By the time I joined the team, January 1st to now is a short amount of time when you're talking about building an Indy 500 car. So, believe me, we're all kind of scratching our heads after qualifying, like where was the speed? So that's for another time. But pace in race trim is really good. Getting through traffic, the car feels good, when you're sitting in all that dirty air, which means you're behind a bunch of cars and there's a ton of turbulence, which makes the car feel like you're on an aeroplane when it has turbulence. So it's anyone can win this race, believe me. It doesn't matter where you start. Anyone can win this race. I think you always got to keep that in mind, never get desperate, and just try execute a really perfect day.
Is that something you've learned over the years? Because how you just described this is, to me, a relative amount of patience in the process of what you're doing right here. Is that patience come with just time and time again and with age of going through this? Not even so much in 2018 and winning at Will, but just in terms of dealing with this, staying patient, and then, understanding the moment where you can go for it or the moment where you kind of hold off a little bit. Does that only come with experience, not just here, but as a driver in general?
It definitely comes with experience. I mean, there's so many times you finished a race or not finished a race, let's say, or had a bad result, and it's just if I'd just been a bit patient, and that's a balancing act, like how far do you push it and at what point, and that's the real complexity of racing. It's easy to throw it all the way early in the race on an unnecessary move, but it's also easy to give up a win trying to be too conservative and you never make it to the front. So you've got to understand that balance. You've got to understand what your car will take, because sometimes you simply just don't have the car for it, and then maybe you throw an off strategy move. You just say, look, we're gonna take fuel and tires here while everyone stays out, and it plays out for you. So many scenarios. It's obviously very complex, and you've just got to keep your head in the game, and yes, be patient for sure. You got to, like Rick Mears would always say, spend the first half getting to the second half.
That's Will Power with us from Andretti Global. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So just keeping your car and off the wall or out of an incident on carb day, that final practice, that's number one on the list. But what do you look for? Or in your case, how would you know that you have a successful carb day, and how you feel about this ride going into the 110th on Sunday, coming off of that final practice?
Well, it depends. It looks like it might rain, right, at noon. So chances are they're going to move that practice back, and it's going to be really cool. And the car will behave completely different when it's that cool compared to what it might be on race day. So I think carb day will be more of a systems check. It will be more of just like, look, it's not time for a science experiment here and completely changing the car. Let's just go through the processes, do a few pit stops, do a couple of in and outs to understand how does it break down when you go on 230 down to, 60 on pit lane. I think that's the smarter way. It's like you say, you don't want to end up, having an incident and then, losing all your confidence. The guys have to, rebuild the car, and then it's not the same, and so on and so on. So it's a tough place, man. That's all I'll say. This place, of all the tracks I've raced over the years, is the most confusing and tough place you can race at. It can be so satisfying, but then it can be also so brutally harsh. So that's why it's so exciting when you win. It's such a big deal when you win it.
Hey, how cool is it to have such a close resource in Mario Andretti around you and this particular race team? How important, how cool, I mean, just all of it. It just seems like it is such an incredible resource to have that is so multi-generational for a lot of reasons. How big is that for you with this team?
I mean, Mario is just, the epitome of a true racer. And it's really cool when he's on your stand, he's listening into the debriefs and the stories he can tell you. I mean, he's been through some serious eras of racing, including when he was racing Formula One. So, I mean, honestly, it's a real honor to drive for the name Andretti. I was, such a big fan of Mario and Michael growing up. So I feel privileged to be around him. Obviously, he has a tremendous amount of knowledge, so you can really bounce anything off him. And, yes, he is a great resource for the team.
Oh, that's really cool. Will Power with us. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Andretti Global getting set for Carb Day, whenever Carb Day is going to be. And then obviously the 110th. Do you have a lot more of these in you, do you feel? Have you ever thought about how this thing goes and how much more time you have? Is that a fair question to ask you right now, or is that one you'd rather be lobbed or have one lobbed at you like that later?
I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
Me too.
I'm still very fit and still fast. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have continued if I didn't think that. I wouldn't have continued. I think if you put an actual date on your, retirement, it just is no good. So as long as you're doing well, keep at it. And you want that pressure, right? That you want to keep getting re-signed. You want that pressure there all the time. That subconscious pressure, it extracts the most out of you. So there's definitely no date on it, and I'm still fit as ever and still racing well. So that's where it sits right now.
You get a competition fix that it would be hard on any level. As maybe a team owner you could, but as a driver it's just drastically different. You get that competition fix that I would imagine with somebody like you that's ultra competitive would be very difficult to be without. Yes, that's, at the end of the day, once I've been doing this for a decade or so, I just came to the realization it wasn't the cool cars or the fast cars I was driving. It was actually the element of competition that I loved so much. The fact that you come in and look at a timing board and go, where do I actually stack up here? I think that's just what drives most of humanity, most of any technology or anything you've ever seen, that humans have created is through competition. So competition is so ingrained in us that that will be very missed. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it once I stop, but I love competing. It's a willpower right there. Well, keep on keeping on, man. The best of luck to you coming up on Sunday with Andretti Global. And we'll check back in. I mean, hell, who knows? Maybe you go for another one. We check back in next week with the champion. But you're always a great conversation, and we love having you on. Thanks for taking the time today.
No, great stuff. Thanks for having me on. Enjoy your afternoon.
You too. Willpower right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That was really good. And he's always really good.